Hey, here's the first part of the weather folder. There should be about 3 videos letting you know how to get through here. Let's start with the learning target. There's 3 things you need to learn from the folder. First one says to distinguish among the various forms of precipitation. It says rain, snow, sleet, and hail. Distinguish just means you know what they are. You can tell them apart. Making connections to the weather in a particular place and time. So you know that certain places on the globe rain and certain places snow, and you understand that only during certain parts of the year they snow. That's that first standard. Second one says to recognize how air temperature, barometric pressure, humidity, wind speed, and direction, and precipitation determine the weather in a particular place and time. All of these things are collected like by a meteorologist, and based on the data you pull from all these things, you can kind of figure out what the weather's going to be. And in a couple of the assignments, you get to see the tools they use to collect that data. Last, recognize that some of the weather-related differences, such as temperature and humidity, are found among different environments, such as swamps, deserts, and mountains. Different types of places have different types of weather. That's basically what that one is. I will know that I'm successful when I submit my weather tools presentation, I submit my rain project, I submit my weather video notes. This is the first time you're supposed to turn in notes, so pay attention when you get to this part. I submit a post to the Forming Precipitation Forum, so you start a discussion on that forum, and then I submit my cloud pictures. Let's click into the folder right here. Alright, first we've got we have the textbook lesson. Open in a new tab. Let's see what it's got. Alright, it says, in this lesson you will review different types of weather tools. Open up the PowerPoint found here and put the information learned from the lesson into the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint will act as your note-taking device. So this is a textbook lesson, but rather than taking notes, you're going to create a PowerPoint using the information from the lesson. So right-click, open in a new tab. Oops, we got to do it a different way. Let's do it this way. You have a resource folder in every folder. Well, your PowerPoint for this is sitting in the resource folder. It is right here, Weather Tools 5th grade PowerPoint. Click OK. And then it should pop open. Mozilla will have it pop open, and then if you're in Chrome, it usually goes to the bottom. Yep, there it is. Remember to click Enable Editing. Once you do that, you're allowed to edit the PowerPoint I sent you. You put your own name on here, so I know who did it. And you move to the next slide. It says anemometer. In this textbook lesson, right here, you're going to be learning about different weather tools. You are going to, as you learn about the anemometer, you're going to write the information on the anemometer slide. And as you learn about the thermometer, you're going to write the information you learn on this slide. So you're kind of doing the project and taking notes at the same time. The questions you have to answer are right here. What does it do? So you'll get rid of what I wrote and you'll write an anemometer measures the, and then you finish that. What measurement unit does it use? Inches, degrees. The anemometer uses to measure it. And then you finish that. Down here it says, make sure you add an image too. You can Google image search this. For help, email your teacher. Don't forget to delete these pesky directions when you're done. To delete them, you actually have to click on the edge of the box like this and press the delete key on your keyboard. Let's look and see how you Google image search real quick. Go ahead and add a tab to your browser. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's usually a search bar. Type in the word anemometer. Click enter, and then you should be searching Google. A lot of times, too, they let you choose where you search. I always just do Google, it's faster. Click images, and then here are a bunch of anemometer pictures. And you don't want to go nuts and pick something that looks different than the rest of them or different than what your textbook shows you. This one looks pretty similar to what you want. When you copy it from here, you want to copy it from here and not from up here. You have to actually click on the image and copy this one to get it into your PowerPoint. So on top of the picture, you right-click, and then you left-click the word Copy Image. Open your PowerPoint back up, and you're going to right-click again and click Paste. It should come up. It comes up in the wrong spot, but you can click and drag it where you want. And you can also use these little ball thingies on the corner to resize it. You click and drag them, and you make it whatever size you want. So you're expected to do that for the thermometer, for the barometer, for the wind vane, for the rain gauge, for the weather balloon, and the hygrometer. You're going to get all that information from your textbook lesson. So let's take a look at that. You clicked Next. Now it's time to log in. Right-click on top of that. Remember, you have to prove to them you are who you say you are. And the login is always Student 5 for 5th grade. Student 5. And you click Login. Once it lets you in, you can go back to the textbook lesson and click Next. Remember, you click the buttons in the proper order. It says Unit 3. Press the play button next to Lesson 3. So we're already in Unit 3. Here's Lesson 3, and you just click the play button. As you go through the different slides in this lesson, remember you can go back to your PowerPoint and write down what you learn as you go. Just go right back and forth the whole time. If you want to take it slow and do it on a piece of paper, you can do that too, but you don't have to. Once each slide is done, this lights up and you move on to the next slide. It talks about different types of weather and it talks about the tools. When you're done with all 10 slides, you get to the summary. Click down here, it says, can you match the tool to the weather factor it measures? I have a review video from Mr. Parr. He has cool songs. Science songs. Ooh, anemometer. So you watch that and then you click Next. And then you come to the question and you're supposed to do the drop down to match each of these to the actual device that measures that. Click Submit. This is worth a grade, so make sure you do a good job. After you do that, it says turn in your Weather Tools presentation. So if you do need outside websites to finish each slide, let me know and I can direct you there. Right-click Open in a new tab. It says Submit a copy. If you need to see the template, you can click there. Remember, you add submission, and then you could click and drag your file into here, or you could find it on your desktop. This is my presentation. Period. Don't forget a period. Remember, you click Add right there, and then upload a file, and then browse. And you can, I usually save all my good stuff for science on my desktop. And I made my own folder at the beginning of this course called 5th grade science. So you save all your 5th grade science stuff in your 5th grade science folder. You click on the file, click open, and then upload. Be very patient, and then it sits there on the bottom, and you can save changes, and that'll send it to me. Next, building a rain gauge. Right-click, open in a new tab. All right. It says, you will be asked to make a rain gauge. Don't worry, when you click Next, it'll show you how. And you're going to have to collect rain for 2 weeks. Pay attention to the rain gauge video in this assignment so your rain collection will be accurate. Click here to download a spreadsheet for your project. It's a green icon called Rainfall. Right-click, open in a new tab. Let's find the rainfall. Yep, right here. Okay. Alright, remember if you need to click Enable Editing, do that. I already had it open from a previous attempt at this video. There it is, Enable Editing. Okay, so you're going to write the date, 9/4/2014, or whatever the date is when you do this. 2012, that's wrong. But from that video that you're going to watch, he's going to teach you how to make a rain gauge, and he's going to teach you what a good spot to put a rain gauge in is. So whether it be by your house, in the field, whatever. You're going to pick a spot, you're going to make a rain gauge, and you're going to stick that rain gauge in that spot. Every day at the same time, you're going to come out to the rain gauge and see how much rain is in there. Once you figure it out, you write it down in your spreadsheet, and then you put the next date, and you do it again the next day. Don't forget after each day to dump out the rain, though. And after you've done it for 2 weeks, you should have 2 weeks of data, and you're supposed to answer the questions right here. It says, explain a conclusion you can draw from this data why you feel there was that much rain. There might be something happening at that time. Maybe a hurricane came by. Maybe there's a drought. Maybe you live somewhere special where it doesn't rain a lot, or it does. So you're going to write that stuff here. What conditions were necessary to get that amount of rain or that lack of rain. Talk about what was happening at this 2-week time frame to explain your results a little bit. So you're doing that for 2 weeks. That doesn't necessarily mean that you are stuck and you can't move on in the folder. Skip this thing where it says your turn, rain project, and move on to the textbook lesson and the next video while you collect rain. Don't just stop doing science, because you won't finish your work on time if you do that. So let's see, we've got this spreadsheet where you're going to put all your information. Let's take a look at the video real quick. Click next. This is a special video from the Happy Scientist. There's a login screen at the bottom where it says login. Your login is Volusia and the password is science. The whole county borrows the same login. It's usually right here, but I had logged in already on accident. You're going to click play, so you scroll in this here and you press play. And you see he's got rain gauges sitting right there. He's going to show you different rain gauges in this video. And then when you're done and it gets all the way to the end, I want you to come down here and click part 2. Because he has another extended video about rain gauges. Click play. And then in this one it's cool because he actually tries out different rain gauges to see which ones make the best. And he puts them so you can see which one collects the most rain. Use this information to pick what you want for your rain gauge. Once the video finishes, click the button at the bottom and you have a question. This question is for you to think about, but you don't have to submit an answer. What items do you have in your house or around you that can be used to make a rain gauge? Click remember. And it's just a reminder. You're going to be asked to make your own rain gauge. You need to pick a good spot to place it. You're going to collect rain for 2 weeks. You're going to record it on a spreadsheet, and you're going to submit a picture of the rain gauge you used and the spot you put it in. So make sure you pick a good spot based on that video. He tells you how to do that. Come back here. Let's say 2 weeks has already passed and you want to turn in all your stuff. Right click, open in a new tab. Your turn, rain project. Alright, so there's directions. Listen to the directions. Pick a container from your school or home to make a good rain gauge. Take a photo of it in a good location, good for collecting rain. Attach it to this assignment at the bottom by clicking the Add Submission button. Write 2 sentences in your submission explaining why you picked that container and why it makes a good rain gauge. Also what spot you put it in and why you put it there, why it's really good to collect rain right where you put it. So there's 2 sentences, a picture, and then finally use your rain gauge to collect the rain for 2 weeks. At the end, once the rain is collected and recorded into your spreadsheet, dump the rain out every single day after you've collected the rain. So you wrote down it collected 2 inches on the 4th of September, dump that rain out, put it back in the same spot, and then wait again. If you don't dump it out, then your results will be wrong. Here it shows you here where to get your document if you needed that. A reminder, submit your photo, your sentences, and your spreadsheet in this assignment. You have 3 files to connect. Add submission. So let me show you. At the bottom, this is where you could put your sentences. Right here is how you're going to add your files. Browse. You can pick 3 different files. Upload this file, and then you will you will attach those files to this assignment. Look, it lets you go again, browse, upload this file, open. So you're going to put all three, not random files, put all three of the files mentioned in the assignment and submit them to me. And then you're going to save the changes. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. So far, you've done a textbook lesson, you've turned in a PowerPoint, you learned about rain gauges, and now you're turning in your rain project. Good luck. Good luck, good luck, good luck.